Hey guys, this is Sean Waller, also known as Showing Your Realtor. Continue to educate yourself because this business is always evolving. Just continue to learn. With it, talk to you guys later. What's going on, guys? This is Sean Waller, also known as Showing Your Realtor. Welcome to the Strictly Free Game Podcast. Before we start, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Just lock into the free game. I am Showing Your Realtor, like I said. Whatever you want to call me, just make sure you call me. I have my guy here today. This is literally the first time we met in person. I think this is the first time we met in person.
I think so, but we've been talking for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking over the gram and everything for a while.
I showed your listings. I put offers on your listings.
Exactly.
You know, didn't lock anything up, but soon. That's coming soon.
That's coming soon. That's coming soon. That's probably why everything brought us this energy here together today.
Definitely.
But we always kick it through DM, and I'm like, yo, Don, we gotta have this conversation over the pod.
Yeah.
Before I even introduce you, introduce yourself.
I'm Donovan Bailey. For short, many people know me as Don Bailey. On Instagram, Don Bailey NY, the number one. Real estate agent. I have, been a commercial appraiser before. Done various things in real estate.
Dope. Well, how long have you been in the business?
As far as selling houses, it's a funny question.
Yeah.
Real funny question. So, I took my real estate classes many years ago, right? And never took the state test.
Okay.
So it was like, I took it like...
Well, like the school test and never took the state test?
I never took the state test.
Okay.
So I took the classes. It was like a summer, Saturdays, all day, like 9 to 5 kind of thing. And I was, in my mid 20s probably. Oh no, early 20s.
Early 20s.
So I sacrificed some nice days, you know?
Yeah, especially in the summer.
And I was in a basement of like a motel or something. That's where they gave the classes. No windows. So during lunch, we come up for air, come out, see beautiful sunny days, and it's just like, man, I could be doing something else, but So I wanted to get in real estate. At the time, I was a commercial real estate appraiser.
Okay, before you went for your license.
Before I even let me tell you, so before I even took the state test.
Okay.
So I had passed the class and I never took the state test for years.
Wow, okay.
And then what ended up happening is they raised the hours to 75 hours. So I had to take up a makeup class, like a 25-hour makeup class.
To make up for the difference of hours.
In order to qualify to take the state test.
Wow, okay.
So that's just to tell you like how long ago it was. So I did that. I passed the test on the first shot.
Oh, that's a flex. It took me. I passed it on the third shot.
Really?
The third try, yeah.
I
probably shouldn't have took it the first time.
So I already had taken appraisal classes, so a lot of the information was like overlapping, so I already knew it.
Okay.
So it was like stuff that was covered in like my intro classes, like the beginning classes, like the R1, R2, for commercial or real estate appraising. So I pretty much knew all the information, and at that time I was already appraising for years already.
Okay.
So I got my license, and at the time I was living in Staten Island, and I said I didn't really know anybody out there. I know a handful of people, but I'm not from there. I was just living there.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just living there for like 6 years in Tottenville Beach, and I joined a local brokerage. They were big on the island, old school. I was going on the weekends for training, and I was helping agents do open houses.
Okay.
But my life shifted, and I ended up moving to Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Right? So I was not going, from Pennsylvania to Staten Island to do open houses.
Nah, that didn't make sense.
What ended up happening was I just was inactive.
Okay.
It came time for me to renew my license, and I came back to Long Island to take my continuing education classes. And this is a couple of years later already. I ended up staying in Long Island for a little bit, and I got with my current broker now.
Okay.
Once I renewed my license, I came back as a Long Island realtor, right? And I already had a full-time job as a commercial appraiser at this point.
Okay.
So the time that we're talking when I got my license, till the time I actually started in real estate was probably over 10 years. Like, I don't know, it was a very long time.
Wow.
It was a big stretch.
Yeah.
From the date that I took my real estate classes to the time I actually started working in real estate sales.
Wow.
You know, and I want to clarify, real estate sales, because everybody thinks real estate, they only think about sales. Real estate is just more than sales, you know? And that's pretty much one of the reasons why I wanted to, get into sales, because people always ask you, friends, family, oh, what do you do for a living? And I tell them, I'm a commercial real estate appraiser.
Yeah.
They hear real estate and they think you sell houses.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't do anything with houses. It's all commercial buildings, whether it's shopping centers, industrial.
What made you get into commercial, being an appraiser?
Okay, so what happened was I was 16 years old. I was working in auto parts store.
Okay.
And my grandmother worked as like an accountant in an appraisal company. And they needed summer help. Somebody was going on vacation and they needed somebody to answer phones, that kind of thing. Front desk work and some light clerical work. And she was like, I have an opportunity for you, So at the time I had a big afro, I had the beard, not as big as this, but it was big for a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm like, beard, 16, damn, okay.
Yeah. So, I cleaned up myself a little bit. They took me to Macy's. They brought me some, some ties and some dress shirts, some of those ties I still have to this day. And they interviewed me and I started working there, answering the phones. They taught me how to be a receptionist, how to transfer the calls and stuff, how to use a fax machine.
You taking it back.
Yeah. It was, this was, like in the late 90s, right?
Yeah.
So I was just so fascinated. I was like, what do you guys do here? Because I never asked my grandmother, like, what exactly. I was like, it's a company she works at. They deal with real estate stuff,
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you do here, And then everybody was explaining to me. But there's so many different types of appraisals and appraisals for different purposes. So there's appraisals. Everybody always thinks an appraisal is only for a bank, only for a refi or a purchase. In commercial real estate, investors sometimes get appraisals done. Sometimes it's done for divorce purposes. Appraisals are also done for tax purposes.
Yeah.
When people are fighting, their tax bill, they have, I can't pronounce the word properly, tax certiorari it's called. So that's another form of appraisal where it's much different from a bank appraisal.
Yeah.
So they just gave me appraisals to read and said, hey, read these. And I was just like sitting there in my downtime reading appraisals. And appraisal for a commercial building, it could be like 100 pages, 200-300 pages.
I was about to say, it got to be an intense appraisal, yeah.
And what it is like the front end is like a crash course on real estate. So there's definitions, and there's descriptions of, the property types. Then there's market analysis. You analyze, how much typical houses sell for an area, employment data, average household income, that sort of stuff, all the statistics about a neighborhood. So I was like 16 years old, like reading this stuff and just learning, and just was intrigued and asking a lot of questions. Then, they came to me and said, hey, Donovan, you gonna have a car next summer? I was like, yeah, of course. And then I became like a gopher,
Okay.
So before everything was online like how it is now, I would go to different townships, county clerk offices.
You go to the clerk offices?
Yeah, and pull deeds.
Okay.
Pull, tax records, zoning maps, that sort of thing.
So you have way more knowledge than a typical real estate agent. Like that's that's
I tell people I have the cheat code.
Shit. Yeah, that's different.
Because I came in the game with a whole different kind of experience.
Yeah.
I was using microfiche.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't even know what the hell that is.
This stuff is ancient, man. This is like
that sounds like some shit you get on a floppy disk or something.
The 70s and 80s, they probably, I think a lot of places still use it to this day. So what it is like this big machine, and they have this like film that looks like, I remember when you had the camera and you had that film, that black film.
Yeah, like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So all the deeds and all the information for properties, they're printed on this film. You slide it in this thing with a magnifying glass,
and you
look in it, and then you can print it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had a lot of good experience using that kind of stuff, looking up properties.
Damn. So, you took it back with that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So to get back into the commercial appraisal side of it, right? Like you must have definitely been a unicorn. I'm pretty sure there wasn't a lot of young black guys in that field.
Didn't exist.
Okay.
Didn't exist.
So give us some experience of what you went through in that process, right? So now you're not, you said a gopher, but we use that terminology. You're no longer a gopher, now you're getting into the field of being an actual appraiser.
So now I'm like maybe 19 years old.
Wow, you're still super young.
I was in college / taking appraisal classes. Then I had a few car accidents and I was hurt and I couldn't, I had to withdraw some of my classes. Then I just said, let me just concentrate on the appraisal stuff because that's what I'm doing right now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in appraisal classes and everybody's like trying to become an appraiser and I'm already here like experienced and people don't believe me that I'm actually an appraiser, but when I can answer all the teachers' questions and they're like, okay.
This guy knows what talking about.
I'm doing this stuff every single day, and I'm taking these classes on the weekends. So now I'm like 19, I'm getting paid a good salary. You're young, you don't make the smartest decisions. But I was very conservative with my spending.
Yeah.
But here comes this 19-year-old kid, and I had a baby face, I guess, compared to how I look now. And these people are, expecting somebody much different.
Of course.
They're looking for somebody with gray hair or somebody in their, it's typically to have like a middle-aged man as appraiser. It's like a stereotype of what an appraiser looks like,
even
right?
to this day.
Especially in commercial.
Yeah.
It's not a field where you have a lot of...
it's not a sexy field to go into.
Yeah, nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Especially, people know about residential, but people don't really know about commercial. And so here I come, this young kid, hopping out to some sports car, and they're like, the main thing I always would get is, "You're the appraiser?" And then it was like everybody was like nervous, And on the most part, once people saw that I knew what I was doing and I knew what I was asking for, they were pretty much like, they were cool. And then a lot of times you see the same investors over and over again, The
players never really change.
Yeah. So, we have a handful of banks that we work with. And you have a lot of guys who are very active in certain markets, even though we worked everywhere. So, I did appraisals from as far north at that time, Brewster, all the way to Suffolk County, Brewster, upstate New York. Yeah. But most of the stuff is in Brooklyn. Okay. Heavy Brooklyn,
and this is
Queens
before
and Bronx.
the whole the Brooklyn market switched.
Yeah. So we're talking like 2002, 2003.
Wow. Okay.
It was a different ball game over there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of interesting stories.
So what made you? All right. So you were a commercial appraiser, which was rare at 19 for a black guy, right?
Yeah.
What made you shift to say, you know what? I don't want to do appraisals anymore. I'm going to get into residential real estate.
So the thing was, everybody was calling me up with crazy stories from real estate agents they've met or dealt with, whether it was purchasing a property or a rental. Just a lot of bad stories, a lot of discrimination. And they were looking to me for help because they thought that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And I was just like, damn, I just felt bad. I was like, I want to help my friends, So when I became active again in real estate, it was funny because I ended up going back to Pennsylvania, right? So I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm working full-time as a commercial appraiser, but I'm working from home at this time.
Okay.
So I'm working from home 24/7. And the way it works is you get an assignment, you have a deadline, to do it. So whether it's working from 9 to 9 or 9 to 3, whatever it is, you just gotta, the product on the due date. So I have flexibility. I can work from 9 to 12 and then 12 to 1, I make some phone calls and blah, blah, blah. So my first year, and I called myself at that time a part-time agent, right? But nobody would believe that I was a part-time agent just based by the amount of houses I sold.
Okay. How many do you first year?
Around 10.
That's not a part-time agent at all. Hell no.
So let me throw in the curveball at you.
Okay.
I was living in Pennsylvania, selling houses in New York.
And you was working from home doing the commercial.
And I had a full-time job as a commercial real estate appraiser.
How the hell was that even possible? How did you do that? And you still closed 10 deals.
Yeah.
How
So that's why I tell people, like, if I could do it from 2 states away, right? From 2 states, I had to drive through Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Shut this phone off. Mm-hmm. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So yeah, I had to drive through New Jersey, Pennsylvania, you know, all the boroughs to get to Long Island or wherever else I was doing my work at.
Yeah.
So pretty much the thing is, with traffic and everything, it was like 3 hours each way.
I can imagine, yeah.
You know, a 2.5 hour drive, but three to 4 hours each way, right? I had a stick shift BMW sports car, so it's uncomfortable. Like I'm shifting and stuff in traffic nonstop. My knees are hurting me. My back is hurting me because I got the sports seats. You know, it's like my back is like horrible. You know, so I'm making it work. Doing my showings on the weekends. I am, banging out these deals and all kinds of properties. I was ambitious, going after everything. Single family, 2-family, condos, fixer-uppers. You name it, I was going after it, right?
So there's no excuse, basically what you're saying. There's no excuse why you couldn't hustle.
I mean, listen, it's just not for everybody, man.
Yeah.
I'm driving after like doing all these showings, I'm driving 4 hours back, 3 hours back. It was costing me roughly $1,600 a month in gas and tolls alone.
Wow. Okay.
And then, mind you, and at the time, like I had just sold like my other car, I had a Cadillac, the big body Cadillac DTS, and I had sold it because I just, had too many cars, and driving with the low profile rims, that was another issue. I was pretty much blowing out a tire, I think every other trip.
Wow.
My tires was like 350, 325. You know what I'm saying? So this was like my tire guy was like, dude, you need to get another car. Dude, you need to get SUV. He's like, I don't mind taking your money, but this is ridiculous.
That's crazy, yeah.
So like my expense was like crazy.
Yeah.
Eventually I moved back to Long Island and I was, so much happier living in Long Island.
Yeah.
And
so so once you moved back to Long Island, you were completely out of the commercial.
No. I was still doing commercial appraisals.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually stopped during the pandemic.
Oh, you recently stopped?
I recently stopped.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
What ended up happening was it became a real funky time because part of our commercial appraisal inspections is we have to check, the building from the basement to the roof. Yeah. So, I'm not a licensed home inspector or a building inspector, but basically we're the bank's eyes. Yeah. So we have to understand building systems. So, I'm looking, if the building is a brick, I'm looking for step cracks. We have to be able to identify like what kind of boiler it is. Is it gas boiler? Is it oil boiler?
And you also have to inspect the units as well, right?
Yeah. So every bank has different requirements. Some banks want you to inspect 50% of the apartment units. Some want you to inspect, 10% if it's a larger building. So then it was just like, I'm not going in anybody's apartment.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic. Yeah.
And we just didn't know if these masks work, they don't work. You know, like everybody had different opinions. We got gloves, people telling us the gloves are no good because, so everybody's telling us something different, right? Yeah. Then it became like, well, just inspect the basement and the roof and the common areas. So, we go on the roofs, we look for gatoring and ponding and that kind of stuff. Because
they're mostly flat roofs, right?
Yeah, flat roofs, yeah. So we're looking for like anywhere where water is settling, anything that could be, potential issue. The lintels, make sure everything like, looks good in the building. And if it doesn't look good, we got to make a notation and, come up with a cost to fix those issues. So we have a book called Marshall and Swift, and we speak to contractors and we, have an idea of like what certain things cost just from our experience working with other investors. So then things got really bad with the pandemic. Okay. And then that was it.
That was it? You decide?
Yeah. No, I didn't decide. I got laid off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just like one of those things where at the time, residential real estate was just going crazy, right? Slowly though, you know, because the interest rates were dropping. And so I was just blessed and fortunate to have something else to really
fall back on at the same time, yeah.
And I just took it and ran, you know? And, you know, I did a lot of different things. So I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday nights, I was doing an Instagram Live where I was just answering a lot of real estate questions.
I think that's when we originally first started following each other.
Yeah,
I remember
you were in there. You were seeing.
I remember that.
And, you know, people had a lot of, you know, complicated situations. And, you know, I think that's pretty much like one of the things I pretty much became my niche because everybody's situation is different and not everybody can afford that renovated house, that beautiful house. Not everybody has, you know, 20, 40, 50% put down. So, you know, we have to think outside of the box, get creative, and find things that could work, you know, for people. And I answered a lot of questions. I helped a lot of people. I picked up a lot of clients that way. It was
through
great.
Through your lives, through your
through my lives, yeah.
Good. Okay.
Because you know what, you know, the truth is everybody's a real estate agent. We all know that. It's
an easy entry level to get into real estate.
And you know, there's a lot of capping going on. You know, everybody has a lot of followers. Everybody's social media famous, but people buy their followers. You know, you can tell what's what. You know, somebody has 100,000 followers and then they have no, you know, there's
no engagement or nothing. Yeah,
no engagement. You know, and you know,
but it's all. Like you said, it's all cap as well. So, but what sets you apart, and I think we kind of almost in the same realm.
And I don't sell a lifestyle of my personal lifestyle to show like, oh, I'm this successful person. You should hire me as your real estate. I want to show you that like I'm knowledgeable about real estate. You know what I'm saying? Not that I drive this, that car, not that I'm on this and that island and whatever. Not that I'm at this and that restaurant. You know, like that doesn't help you get a house. You know?
Exactly.
That doesn't show that I know what I'm doing. So, you know, I keep it very plain Jane for a simple fact that, you know, it's not to distract people from, you know, what I know and, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, everybody's different and everybody wants to do, you know, the fancy stuff. And, you know, I think it's great. I think it's cool. I think maybe one day I might try it. But I like the plain Jane thing because people see, you know,
the power is in the information.
Me, you know,
that's how I look at it. The power is in the information, especially if you could convert that communication to people. Let's put it like this: there's a lot of people that look like us, right? That want to get into a home. They want to get into the real estate part of their lives. Like we're pretty much around the same age. So as much information as you could give them, you're going to track those people, right? Because we just don't know. Like we don't learn this stuff.
And even as the funny thing is like. Even some of my clients who own houses, even people that I know who are investors, they still don't know a lot of stuff. And I was doing Take the Test on Tuesdays on Instagram where I was, you know, I started off with some really entry-level basic real estate topics, multiple choice questions, and everybody can like, you know, pick an answer. And then eventually over time, I graduated into more complex things. And I threw in questions, you know, and when I say real estate, right, real estate is a lot of different things, right? So I cover questions about residential real estate, renting, investment stuff, development stuff, you know, condos, co-ops, because these are all different property types. And unfortunately, just people just don't know about a lot of things. You know, when I was, you know, starting to do this, and still to this day, I just always try to learn as much as possible, you know? You know, like I said, I have the cheat code, you know, because I've been in a different section of real estate for so many years.
For a long time.
I've seen a lot of things evolve and transpire right in front of my eyes. You know, for the, I guess, 20 years I've been in, you know, and I've done investment grade real estate throughout the country. Not only in New York. So I've done appraisals in Colorado, Florida, Connecticut, New Jersey. You know, I flew out many different places.
That's dope, bro.
So like I had to become like an expert on whatever market I'm working in.
Let me ask you something. So now that you say that you had to become an expert, right, in every market, do you think that, I'm trying to think of a way to word this. it's not easy for guys that look like us in this business, right?
No, not
I'm just keeping it a buck. No. Do you think that that's more of an advantage to you? Do you think that the people that aren't getting the information or doing the research that they should be doing, what guidance would you give to a young cat getting into the game, right? Young guy, black kid, whatever it is, that's trying to get into the business, what information is Don giving them?
Well, anybody looking to do anything, regardless of what industry, I always tell them, you want to be educated not only in what you're doing, but everything that affects what you're doing around you, right? So if you're in real estate, you want to know about mortgages, right? You want to understand, like how things are financed, right? So for like the talks of residential real estate, you want to understand, the different mortgage types, conventional mortgage versus a FHA mortgage. How it benefits your buyer, how it benefits your seller, what things can be a disadvantage to your seller or your buyer. You understand the main structural components of a house.
Yeah. That's
one of the main things that's, I think, lacking in our industry. People open the door and you like the house. And it's like, but like, what is it? Like, how many amps does it have?
Yeah.
I
tell people when I do home tours, I don't do the Van White, bro. I don't go to the kitchen. I'm not doing all that stuff. I'm looking for, like you said, I'm looking for the ampage. Yeah. Let's go in the basement. Let's look see if there's any leaks. Let's look at that roof. How old is the roof? It's about the bones of the house more than the cosmetics, because we know cosmetics can be misleading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a perfect thing you brought up, cosmetics. So I work with a lot of first-time buyers. I work with a lot of first-time sellers. And the first-time investors, right? So I took a buyer, it was a first-time buyer, and a lot of people don't realize, especially like us living in Long Island, there's a lot of people who've never lived in a house before, that are coming from the boroughs, that only lived in buildings their whole life. They never lived in a house. They don't know what a boiler looks like. They have no clue what it is. Yeah. So I have to like pretty much educate them on like a crash course on everything that's going on in the house and how it operates, and So went to a house, listing said, renovated house, granite countertops, blah blah blah, new kitchen cabinets, blah blah. So I go in the house. Well, first from the outside, I looked around and I saw there was no gutters. I pointed out to my client, I said, this is a problem. Because, water's just falling off the roof and it's going to go down, right? When it goes down, where does it go? It goes into the foundation, into the basement, right? Sure enough, we go inside the basement. Along the walls, you see watermarks. Like I was like, remember when I told you outside? This is an issue. You have mold issues. You have moist basement. There's crickets down there, like different bugs. The kitchen. They said it was a new kitchen. They had
they did the
new
paint
cabinets.
job?
They painted new cabinets, but it was old the back, so it's new cabinet doors or something, and
I've seen
old
that.
back.
Yeah.
It looked great. It looked nice. Don't get me wrong. Now the countertops. It wasn't granite. It was actually wood, and there was like something painted over it. There was like a lacquer or like a film or something over it.
Really?
Because when I looked underneath it, right, and I touched it, and I bang in and look, so this is wood. So like you got to know what you're buying, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're buying, how can you buy it? How can you put an educated offer? Because if you're looking, and when I show my clients a house, whether it's buying or selling, I send them all the houses that sold in that area within the past few months, so they're educated on, all right, this is what a renovated house sells for, and they're making their offer based on that, right?
Based on information and not emotion.
Right, yeah. So, we're not making an offer based on the asking price, or say, we're gonna go 20,000 over because, but what if the house is underpriced? Well, if the house is overpriced? You know what I'm saying? So you have to do what makes sense. Because at the end of the day, if you're buying with a mortgage, it has to appraise, right? Yeah. And then you waste your time if,
Now, what are you seeing out there as far as we're in a bananas market? It's crazy. Yeah. Everyone's going way above list. They're throwing out everything, appraisals, inspections, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, people being tricky out there, man. There's a lot of people who are like borderline scammers out there. And what they're doing is they're throwing out like So an agent told me somebody gave them proof of funds. They said, "Oh, all cash offer," right? The proof of funds was in somebody else's name, right? It's supposedly the brother or uncle or something, right? And like all cash, right? So.
But that's another thing. Before you don't even finish that thought, a lot of them don't even know what to look for when it comes to that. Like they hear all cash, like you said, they're looking at the proof of funds. It could be someone else's name. It could be a dated printout from the bank statement. A lot of these new cats don't even know what they're looking at.
So let me even tell you something. Let me take this a step further.
Yeah.
There's people out there going around and doing two things. They're saying, "Oh, I do credit repair and I can help you get a mortgage," right? And they take the people's money, right? And they tell them, "Oh, I can help you get a pre-approval," and they're getting them they're photoshopping pre-approvals, and they're giving them fake pre-approvals.
Really?
So people are charging for a service,
Yeah,
right, to like get them
of
all
course,
together,
yeah.
And they have these fake pre-approvals. You
Wow.
call a lender up and like, I never even heard of this person.
Holy shit. I can tell you a funny story about that. So it wasn't a pre-approval. It was a guy, I had a property in Brooklyn, a 4-family. They were going crazy. This was right before the pandemic, literally right before the pandemic. And all these investors were coming at me. They were all sending me these, they were doing hard money, but they were sending me these hard money letters. But I started to notice that all of the hard money, it was all different buyers, but all the hard money letters looked exactly the same. Like literally the signature at the bottom, nothing changed. So I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. So I just said,
And then let me even take that a step further. A lot of those investors, their addresses are all the same. It's on Lee Avenue. I forget the address, but it's all the same address. That's another story.
yeah, and I called the bank directly because something didn't sit right. The number that was on the letter didn't feel like the number that should have been on that letter. So I started doing a little digging. I called the manager of whoever managed that. The guy went through the file. He's like, "Sean, I don't know who the hell these people are. I never heard of him in my life. That is not." He's like, "Send me that letter that you have."
It's spooky
Sent
out
it
there,
to him.
man.
He's like, "Yo, this is not even our letter.
Yeah.
That stamp is not ours." Crazy, bananas.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you say that because a lot of these guys aren't doing the research that are getting these.
I call him
these
verified like
offices.
that. The guy that I saw earlier.
Yeah.
I called him up on Monday, and I verified that his person who they said they were, and told me about them, and
Yeah, there you go. You're doing the legwork.
So now I know that's a real official legitimate bona fide buyer.
Exactly.
Not somebody who went through a middleman and
That's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Even with rentals, I'm seeing fake pay stubs,
I did probably
fake credit reports, and I catch everything because I've been outside before. You know what I'm saying? I know the road code. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's funny how I caught one. This company, this credit in the credit report. The lady had a car note with this car dealership that only sells like high-end sports cars, right? The lady came in a gypsy cab. I don't know if you know what a gypsy cab is, right? So they came in a gypsy cab for the showing, right? Doesn't have a car, and I'm just like, this is not making any sense.
Yeah.
And talking about gypsy cabs for a minute, it's funny. I don't think I've ever discussed this on social media or anything. When I was an appraiser, 2008, I got laid off. 2009, with the whole economy that crashed.
It tanked, yeah.
And I seen my departments get wiped out, like department by department. Everybody getting laid off. People who were with the company for 30, 40 years, and just like today's your last day. And it's like, damn, that sucks because imagine you're working with a company for like 40 years. You don't have a resume.
Nah.
You don't have any clothes to go on interviews.
Nah. And there's no plan B.
Unfortunately for some people. So I was very disgusted with corporate America, and I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. And I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. So I was a dollar cab driver on Jamaica Avenue.
Were you?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where I saw you before.
I went to the spot off of Queens Boulevard. I got my Crown Vic for $3.50 a week with the bulletproof glass in the back.
Where were you parking? Right on 165th Street?
No, man, I was driving up and down Jamaica Avenue.
Oh, you was up and down Jamaica Avenue, like towards Queens Village, like the Queens Village
along
area?
the bus line, going to the F train.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were just hustling, man.
Yeah,
Picking up, blowing the horn, boop, 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 flagging people down, people flagging me down. Get in the car. Who don't got $2? They got $1.
Yeah.
And just packing up the car. 3, 4
Hustling.
people in the back, 2 people in the front,
Hustling.
and we're driving to the train station, going to work. And eventually, I worked my way up to getting a black car and getting into luxury limousine service. And that's what I did for a number of years while the economy was down.
Yeah.
I had like my own private chauffeur company. I had Escalades and I had town cars and that sort of thing. And it was pretty lucrative. It was amazing. But again, I was on the road a lot. I had to manage a lot of stuff. From accidents, people being late. No,
of course.
No, everything's a headache, man.
Yeah, everything's a headache. We connected recently, right? We've been having a lot of like DM conversations.
Yeah.
I put up a post and I forgot what it was about. I put up a post and I said, I feel like I have to sell myself more to my people than other people. Very
interesting topic.
Interesting topic. What is your stance on that? Like what does Don feel about that? Because we had a very intense conversation about this.
I personally, a lot of people come to me from referrals. I do go out there and get my own business as far as door knocking, cold calls. Like I do everything, postcards. I do like the whole full circle thing.
Okay.
I feel that is an issue in a lot of scenarios. I've been through it, but I'd say, like overall in my personal experience, people pretty much, are coming to me because either
through them referrals.
Either referral or they've seen and they heard me speak online and, what I know. And, I don't tell people I'm different. I just rather show them.
Rather show, of course.
So, it's different, but when I go and I door knock and, like the other day, I rang this guy's bell. He opened the door. He looked me up and down and he was like, oh, everybody's doing real estate now, right? And I was like, I've been in real estate for almost over 20 years, not like somebody who's new. And he was like, oh, okay. And then we were talking about the market, and he was misinformed. But I told him, he was like, nobody has money right now. Who's buying houses? I was like, oh.
He's definitely not outside.
He's out of it, so I had to put him on, But I mean, I hate to say this, as real estate agents, stereotypically, we look a certain way, we dress a certain way, we drive a certain car. So it's like, a lot of times people judge you on that.
Of course. Yeah.
I try to tone everything down as much as possible so I'm not.
Yeah, they want you to look successful, but not too successful. If you look too successful, you're making too much money. Why should I be paying you? You're making too much money. But if you don't look successful enough, maybe you're not getting enough business.
Yeah, it's a very, very crazy field, man.
You know what I mean?
It's a crazy field.
I'll give you an interesting story. So this is last year. It was through a referral. So I got a referral. This guy's mother passed away. He was trying to sell the mother's house. Went to the house, suited up, and as you see, I don't really wear a lot of suits. I gained a lot of weight. I'm trying to lose the weight before I get the suits again. Yeah. But I went suited up and everything and had a great rapport with him. Him and his sister, great rapport with the guy. Gave him the number that was going to make sense. He had mold issues in the basements. They gave him recommendations of how to do it. We were going for it, right? Signed the paperwork, cool. I get a call back 2 days later, we decided not to sell the property. I know you have to sell the property.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
People don't realize that, it's going to show up. It's public record.
It's public record.
It's marketed to the public. You're going to see if you went with another realtor. So it's like, So now
it pops up a few days later, and I look at the realtors that are on it.
Even with buyers, if they say, I'm not looking to buy anymore, I can just look your name up in public record and see that you bought a house.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like your name is on the deed. I'm gonna see it. Like you bought a house and and then I can even go further and see what house you bought and what realtor, how much your loan amount was. I can see your whole business. I can see everything.
Yeah. So and they don't realize that either. So the house pops back up on the market, and I looked at the agents that listed it, and I'm like, wait a minute, they don't look like me. You know what I'm saying? And it's three agents. Mind you, this house is in Queens Village. 3 agents that are coming from, I think they were coming from Brooklyn somewhere. Don't look nothing like us, don't know nothing about Queens Village. So now the guy is calling me every other day to ask me questions. So I'm like, bro, like, why are you asking me this question? You know what I'm saying? So me being the typical guy I am, I'm giving them a little information. And after a while, I'm like, bro, I can't keep answering. Ask your agents. Oh, they don't respond to me. They don't pick up the phone. I'm like, whatever happened with the mold situation in the basement? Oh, I hired a company. They charged me $20,000 to fix it. Like, you paid 20 grand? Oh yeah, the agents the agents paid for it up front. That's why I went with them. I'm like, what do you mean they paid for it up front? You know you're paying that money back, right? Oh, you serious? It took him 7 months to sell a house.
You know,
and he sold it underpriced.
The people of food, man. You know, like they see them as food for them, man.
Crazy.
Food. They know how to eat. They know how to eat off of these people, and you know, they talk the talk, you know, and they just run circles around them, and they make them sign their name on the dotted line. And next thing you know, it's a sad story, man.
Sad story.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get out of the contract. And I was like, you just paid 20 grand to get that basement finished. Oh, not even finished, to get it gut. He just gutted the basement out. $20,000. And you can't get out of this deal because if you do, you're paying him that $20,000 back.
Yeah, you know, there's good agents and there's people, you know, with any business.
There's,
you know,
yeah.
There's people who are slimy and there's people who are good people who do good business. I've came across, I'd say, more good agents than bad agents.
Same here. Same.
You know, there's a lot of great agents out there, you know, from all walks of life, from newer agents to, you know, some of the OG agents. And there's a lot of horrible people out there, and you know, they're just looking for that come up, you know.
Everybody's looking for a quick buck. That's why I think it's a little too easy to become a real estate agent. I think they should definitely shift that. The entry point to get in is a few $100. Yeah. You don't really have to have much knowledge, but you could really swindle people out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
What experience are you seeing? Being a young black real estate agent on Long Island is, needless to say, it's not that broad. Right? No. It's not. You go to some of these companies, it's not. The company I'm with, I even say it. So we had an awards ceremony recently, and I noticed I was the only one in the room that kind of looked like me. Yeah. And it kind of got to me in a way. I'm like, damn, like I know there's people in this industry that look like me that's doing it. Yeah. But what the hell is going on? What is the scope of the landscape that you're seeing that's going on out here?
You know, everybody's background is different, right? A lot of agents come in as part-time, looking to go full-time. Everybody's looking to make extra money. You have companies that, you know, sell the dream and that lure them in with maybe a higher commission split. And then a lot of places become probably like a little cliquey, you know?
Yeah.
My friend is here, my cousin's there, you know, and you know, it gets to the point where, you know, I get recruited all the time. I have everybody calling me.
Same here.
Looking to, you know, bring me to their company, and making me all kinds of offers, and just have no interest. You know, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, if it's a commercial company that calls me, like a Marcus and Miller, not supposed to say any names, but you know, if a commercial company calls me, it's a different story, you know? Yeah. You know, these residential companies, again, they know how to lure people in, right? And it's like, you know, they're gonna make their money one way or another. Everybody's in business to make money.
Of course,
So they might tell you, you know, like, we can give you this, that, and the third, and it might sound better than somebody else. But then when you turn around and you're in, you know, like every day you're shelling money out for something.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the same thing. You know, sometimes this guy who might sound better is not better, you know, and the one who might not look better might be better, you know, better fit in the long run. You know, so some people don't see the value of what comes along with certain companies that are not as, you know, selling that dream. So what happens is the agents get no value, they don't get any training, then they just end up really not growing to their full potential.
They become part-time forever.
And yeah, they end up doing just a handful of deals a year instead of transitioning to a real full-time agent. You know, because the education is where it's at.
That's
what's
good.
going to separate you from everybody else. And even people reach out to me. They're like, my cousin's a real estate agent, but I see you really do real estate, and I want to work with you.
I've had people hit me up from other states. Like, yo, are you licensed here? I'm like, no, I'm not, but I can refer you. They're like, no, we don't even want them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's people, like I said, they want that education. They want that person that they feel that they can be comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. And I would tell you, because I was part-time for years before I became a full-time agent. But I was always, I was going to these events to educate myself. Like I'm a nerd when it comes to it like
Zoom,
that.
I take all the Zoom classes.
As many as you can. Instead of going to brunch on Sunday, instead of partying during the week, if you don't have any clients, you should be YouTubing it. You should be on these Zooms. You should be really knocking it out the park. That way you can become that producer.
Not only that is I'm teaching a lot of agent stuff. I'm helping a lot of other agents, even agents that are not even my company or there's no benefit for me. But I mean, if it's somebody who's a friend or somebody who reaches out with a sincere want to learn about something, I share the little knowledge that I have. And
have you ever thought about starting a team?
When I first started, I had a few agents that I brought to my brokerage, but they were part-time and they had full-time jobs, and they were good. They were great people. But everybody has their time in their life where, and for some of them, it wasn't their time. And there's one guy still rocking out. He's doing his thing. He's doing an amazing job. But everybody else kind of moved on to different things. And, listen, I went through the same thing because I was with a brokerage before I was doing what I'm doing now. And it just wasn't the time for me, I was going through a lot of different phases in life, personal life, and I also owned a DJ company.
Damn, dude, what didn't you do? So, I feel like you are the jack of
but the music
you can sell a house and DJ the house party at the same time.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what's funny? I actually DJ'd open houses.
Did you? That's dope.
So there was a condo development in Queens, and they did like a fashion show.
Okay.
Open house at night, like a fashion show, and they had like
which one? In Jamaica?
No, this was in like I want to say Elmhurst or one of those, somewhere around that vicinity. I don't think it was Jackson. Maybe it was Jackson Heights. Probably Jackson Heights. Jackson Heights. Jackson Heights. And they had a fashion show. They had art, on the wall for sale, and they had some Filipino pastries. They had
that's dope though.
They had drinks.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a different environment.
That's a vibe though.
Yeah. So I actually DJ'd an open house before I was even a real estate sales agent. I was an appraiser, but
that's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Damn.
Yeah. So I DJ'd from I was a teenager all the way till probably 2012.
You don't play around with it anymore? You don't got no tables and nothing like that anymore?
I have my records still.
It's Serato right now, right?
Yeah, I mean I still have my records.
Okay.
But it was great, but I kind of took a nosedive in 08, when a lot of people were canceling on me. They were like, Don, I don't think I'm going to have a job in 6 months. I don't think I should have this expensive wedding anymore. Yeah. And then from there, I had to sell the vans and sell the equipment. I had lighting. I had all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you was really into it.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I had a full,
you had a full
company.
That's what's up.
Elma High School, I DJ'd all their proms, all the school events.
Wow.
Great Neck High School, Wyandanch High School. I can go on. There's a high school in Corona I used to do their events.
Damn, bro.
But in Long Island, which was good, I would do 7th to 12. 7th grade to 12th grade.
Okay.
Our high school in that region is 7 to 12.
Okay.
So so a lot of parties, and then it's like the senior barbecue. It's the multicultural night.
Yeah. It's actually a good networking thing too. That's not bad.
Yeah.
They play around with it a little bit.
So then I used to throw parties in nightclubs, in the city and in Long Island. So all the spots you probably been to. I DJ'd at Jamrock. I DJ'd at Nagasaki.
Oh damn! You took back to Jamrock.
Jamrock. That was my home, man.
Really?
That was my home. I still talk to Paul. He's doing this thing. The owner of that place.
That's what's up.
He's doing his thing, and I still keep in contact with a lot of people from back in those days. Father Buddha, head of security.
Yeah.
He was security for Lost Boys.
Yeah. That's how I grew up in Jamaica. I know Cheeks and them since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up with his brother Randy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know all these guys.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Everybody's doing good, man, and I reach out to everybody once in a while, and everybody's like family, like distant family. You don't gotta talk every day, but when you talk,
when you talk, you're on the phone forever. Yeah, I feel like you never missed a beat. What's the plan? What's the goal for I don't like doing 10-year plans. I think that's too long. What's your 2 to 5 year plan? Like what you trying to do next in the business?
The next thing I want to do is open up opportunities for people. How do I say this? To do different things in real estate and help them, achieve their goals.
Okay. On the consumer end, you mean?
Both, on everything. So agents come to me and they ask me advice, and and listen, and I'm very upfront with people. I'm like, I don't sell a million houses, I don't know everything, but people still reach out, and also I work with a lot of investors,
Okay.
And I've worked with beginner investors. I've worked with investors who I like. I helped 2 sisters buy their first multifamily property. They already own their multifamily they live in,
nice.
But they were their first investment property, and they're probably like in their 60s or 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna tell me like 20s or something. So it's never too late. Nah, that's amazing. I like that. I love to hear stories like that.
Because you know what? It's like
we put too much of an expiration.
You know
date
what?
on a lot of things.
They live a very simple life, and they're very happy, and they saved their money, and they were able to come up with a great down payment, and it's for their grandchildren at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they have everything they need and they want, right? Their children are working, and it's just, you got to plan, generations ahead,
Yeah.
So it's,
I remember I met a couple, you familiar with St. Albans, right?
Yeah.
Where Merrick Boulevard, is that Merrick? Am I thinking of it? No, not Merrick, that's, God damn it, what is that? It was that building that's been abandoned forever. I think it's a CVS across the street now. It's like that triangle shaped building. Ah, man. Either way, I remember they were renting it out, and I went and I met the family that was actually that purchased. It was a black couple that purchased that property, and I was talking to the husband. And he just retired. He was a retired, I think, detective. He said, and he said he always wanted to get into real estate. He always wanted to become an investor, and that opened up. I was doing real estate for maybe like 2 years then. I was super green. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but it triggered something for me. I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do. But we, like I said, we always either put an expiration date on ourselves, or we rush ourselves way too quick. Yeah. And I fell victim to that, meaning rushing myself, because I'm like, if I'm not doing this at a certain age, I'm not really doing it right. This is before the whole social media.
We got a whole long life ahead of us, man.
A whole life.
Yeah.
I'm saying that to say this. After 2020, everyone became gurus, right?
Yeah.
It's the world of gurus. Yeah. Everyone's
and everybody's charging you for something.
And everybody's charging you for
class,
something.
know? So yeah.
What are you seeing? Have you seen a boom in people that are looking to become investors now?
Yeah.
What education are you giving them? Or you just see that they're strictly not even ready for it yet? Like, what are you telling them?
So a lot of people are just getting a lot of false information from online, right? And here's a problem with information that you get from YouTube, or you get it from Instagram, or wherever you get it from social media, or a seminar. You have to make sure that the person that you're listening to and following is speaking about your market. Because what might work in Tennessee or Atlanta is not going to work in New York. So then you got people who are listening to these guys from out of state and then coming to me like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm like, but so you could, and I tell people, in theory you can, but in reality you can't.
You can't, yeah.
And that's the honest truth, We move very different in New York. California moves different. New York operates different than Pennsylvania and Connecticut, and New Jersey.
The thing is,
You
I
know?
get like you can't. Some people are like, you know what? I just want to get to it. I don't want to sit back and think about it too much, which I get it. Like sometimes you have to take action, but you have to be educated at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you're in,
Yeah.
bro, like you might be. This could be grand opening, grand closing.
And I
You know?
tell people, you gotta have all your stuff in order
Yeah.
before you even make a move. You know, so you have to have your contractor, your lawyer.
Contractor is clutch.
You know, yeah.
Contractor is clutch.
And then I tell them how to go and, you know, do the research, go to their job site, see their work, see how it looks, you know, how the research, like, you know, like online, you know, if they're pulling permits or not, you know, we're not getting into that. But, you know, in New York City, you can see a great amount of information, you know, and a lot of people don't pull. It is what it is.
Of course.
But, you know, you need something to know that, because anybody can say anything, you know. I can go on social media and say, hey, I'm the king of this and that and the third, and people are going to believe me, man.
As long as you sound confident enough.
If I tell people I got 100 doors right now, they're going to believe everything I say, man. And it's like...
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people with a lot of doors. I don't know where they're getting all these doors from, but they have a lot of doors all of a sudden.
You know, and I want to talk about that too, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people bragging about their doors, which is great, you know. But they'll never show you what these properties look like. You know what I'm saying? I work in a lot of neighborhoods where a lot of people have these doors. These properties look horrible, man.
Yeah.
They have no grass. They have no front lawn.
Slumlords.
You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, like there's no landscaping. You know, like it looks just like, and then it's like they don't tell the tenants to, you know, clean up, or garbage is on this day, you know. And there's just garbage in the back. There's garbage on the side.
Yeah, do the research on
You know,
whoever you're
like
following
when my
too.
clients are looking at houses, you know, nobody wants to buy those houses that are, you know, next to those doors, you know, because they look like
a lot of those landlords may be upside down too with this whole.
Yeah, you know, it's an unfortunate situation with all these laws that we have here in
New York State.
New York,
But and that's another thing. You have to know your market as far as like the laws, the tenant laws.
You know,
and how they protect it. Certain markets are different. You can't evict someone by just throwing
I got a lot of
sad
stories, man, in my DMs every day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, and I guide people the best I can as far as how to, you know, resolve certain issues. And I have, you know, people that, you know, help. And
you have some of these attorneys.
There's
that
a
just
lot of
take your
things
money
that
too.
like people don't know that they can do because they just don't know.
They just don't know, yeah.
And so I educate people as much as possible without saying too much. You know,
of course, of course.
But I put people in connection with, you know, the right companies that, you know, do what has to be done to help them to their best ability legally.
Dope. Well, we gotta get you to do like a course or something, bro. You got a lot of knowledge that you got to give out there, man.
Yeah, you know, I call a lot of useless information. You know,
it's not. It's. I don't think it's a such thing as useless information.
Yeah,
I think if it's coming from the right perspective, the right place, the right person, it's all. It could all travel further. Yeah. And that's why I said it's a lot of people that.
And I give it away for free. You know, you follow me. You see, I put in my stories. Who's following me? They absorb all this information.
Yeah.
And you know, the people who follow me and are inspired to get their real estate license, they're coming with like a head start from everybody else because I talk about like a lot of advanced level stuff, you know, and people who are watching this might be like, oh, it's a house, like there's a lot of different things that could happen. There's a lot of you know, even with rental properties, what to look for, how to look for it, how to screen tenants.
Bro, people when they're purchasing, people have no idea how to even look at a rent roll. If they're purchasing a property with tenants, they don't even know where to start.
I got people all the time. They want to buy these houses with non-paying tenants because the prices are cheap.
Because the price is cheap.
And they have like a FHA mortgage or something, and I'm just like, you can't buy the house with the mortgage because the appraiser can't get into the house.
They can't even get into the house. Yeah. And how are you getting the tenant out?
Exactly.
How are you getting this tenant out? Can you even afford to go through that court battle?
And they have 3.5% down. They don't have $20,000-$30,000 to give somebody an offer, like to get them up out of there and move them and put them in another apartment.
That's a fact.
You can't buy these houses, and I'm like, people look at me like I'm the bad guy, you know. And some people, they'll listen and they'll understand it, and some people might want to go to somebody else that will tell them something different, and then they'll hear it from somebody else and they'll come back to me and say like, oh.
Bro, I tell buyers all the time to walk away from the property. But yo, you want my honest opinion? I wouldn't buy it.
I let my clients know, I do not need to sell one house to make a living.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't need to, and you know, it's nice, but the thing is, there's no pressure. I'd rather you do what you feel is right. I'd rather educate you and show you the comps, so you're making a decision based on, you know, market data and your personal emotions, and you're making an educated offer.
Yeah.
Not like a stupid offer because you want to be stupid, or you want to be, you know, stupid low or stupid high. You know, like the market is the market, you know, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now if you're an investor, you have an experience, you know, you're the boss. You know more than me, man. What can I tell you, man? You know.
Go for it.
So I have clients that, you know, like I let them do their own thing. Tell me the number, whatever works good for you, let me know. And they you know, they tell me the numbers, and if the number is not good, I disagree, I'm gonna let them know. I'm gonna say,
same here. Yeah.
I don't think this is. No. I want this house. I need it. I want it. I have to get it. I have to get. What am I to argue? You know,
This is
it's
your money.
This is what you do. This is you know for the experienced guys.
Of course, yeah.
You know, the guys who are getting their feet wet. You know, I still have to like let them know like.
What advice before you get off? Because I got a call yesterday from an agent. I know he watches the pod, so I'm not gonna say his name, but shout out to him. He knows what I'm talking about. And he was asking me, he's like, "Yo, Sean, you know, I've been in the business for a little while. What are you doing to generate leads? How are you generating your leads? Like, my brokerage is not really doing much for me." Which the broker is not. Like, if you're looking for a broker to give you leads, like
a lot of people are looking for that,
but that's over. That day is over.
A lot of like my father was in real estate in the 70s, and it was just different. You know, it was like
the phone was probably
buyers come in, they walk in off the
yeah.
street. The broker has his listings. You go show them whatever listings that your broker has, and make a deal like that. You know, nowadays it's much different. You're using MLS and your relationships, and that's how you're getting the deals. But as far as getting leads, I don't pay for any Zillows or anything like that.
Same here.
I've never sold a house, and people who do it, I guess I understand, because if you need to generate money or get a start, and like, let's say you live in Long Island, you never lived in Long Island, you're from Texas, you don't know anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you may have to start that.
I guess maybe for a point of a time period it might work, but I don't want to talk about that too much, and
of course,
be too negative on that, because
I bought Zillow leads when I first started out, because I had no idea what the hell I was supposed to do.
Yeah, we all try things.
Yeah, it didn't work. I think I closed one deal.
I didn't close any.
After doing it like three, 4 times, I closed one deal, so I didn't even make my money back. But.
And these guys were just hounding you for more money and spend more money per month, and
So what would you tell them to do? Because you're not paying for the leads. So what would you tell them?
I like social media a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
I like social media a lot. I like sharing information with people that they wouldn't see anywhere else, right? So that will set you apart from everybody else. I do cold calling. I get a lot of people who are, who are not that pleasant, but I deal with it and I calm them down. And I come from a point of not like, oh, do you want to sell your house, right? But I mean, and just to like clarify and stay within the boundaries of the legalities of everything. I technically don't cold call right now. I call people that I already have a relationship with, that I've mailed them something, or we already had contact with. I'm not calling right now because we're not allowed to cold call. Because of all the rules from let's not talk about that either. Because I can go on and on about that. And all these rules. But yeah, so I'm calling these people up and I let them know about, if I have a listing in the neighborhood, I tell them about it, and I ask them if you have a friend or family member looking to purchase, I can help them. Because the first thing is when they hear real estate, I'm not selling my house, I have nowhere to go. What do you want me to live in the street? And I'm just like, no. I just want to know if you have a family member that might be looking to buy a house. I know right now is a very competitive time, and a lot of people are out there house hunting, and maybe they might, you might know somebody, who's in that situation. Oh, my cousin, my daughter, my this, my that.
That's when the conversation shifts,
And there you go. I had some people come to my open house the other day that were just from cold calls.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Just inviting them to the open house?
Yeah, they were looking to buy a house similar to the one I was selling.
Dope.
Okay. And they came.
Yeah.
So
you would say utilize social media. That was my advice. I say you have your phone is in your hand. That's you can't get anything more free than that has the most reach. Yeah. You cannot.
And I've gotten a bunch of listings from cold calling.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So cold calling, door knocking. I think you have to do a little bit of everything. Definitely your sphere if you get some referrals going.
I sold a bunch of my friends' houses. I've sold their parents' houses. The sphere is great. And just constantly. Social media, people don't really utilize social media the way they should. They make content. They, go out there and film themselves or, and everything is, the pretty kitchen. I try to stay away from what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But you have to really interact with people.
Yeah.
And I'm a kind of person where I like to interact with people and make jokes and
That's what I do. That's why I go on people's lives. I comment now. I chime in.
I'm doing it because I like doing it. I like BSing and talking shit all day and or talking about real estate. So I have a lot of conversations with people. I'm watching these people's kids grow up right in front of my eyes, man. People who, they're posting their kids basketball games and stuff like that. Like, it's, everybody becomes like family to me,
That's dope.
And I love it, It's interesting times and the world is changing. And I feel like we're a part of a huge change, man, just think about, when we were in high school, what life was like,
simpler times.
We didn't have, I had a cell phone, but it couldn't do what it does now, and
I had the, what's the name? What the hell?
I had a Nextel.
I had a Nextel.
Yeah.
I had the other one, it was a small one.
I had the flip thing, the SkyTel pager, two-way pager.
Yeah, I had the 2 ways, yeah. We evolved a lot, man.
Yeah.
But definitely utilize the social media stuff.
Yeah.
Do some door knocking, do some cold calling. I told myself, even if you know agents in your office that it's a crazy market, it may not be on the listing may not be available too long, but if they have a vacant, like go to that listing, showcase it, do anything that's going to put you out there in front of everyone else.
Yeah. And I know me personally, there's a lot of things I need to probably personally improve on. I know we spoke, and I have to,
I'm trying to get this guy to do more content. I'm trying to get this guy to do more content. Because you got the info, bro. You got to just go out and do it, man. Because you do it on your story, so you're comfortable doing it. Just go for it, man.
So
we're gonna get him to do it. That's what we're gonna get done too.
That's what I definitely got to do,
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it since last year. I knew I was like, I got to do some more content and put some more personal stuff out there, so people could see I'm just like them. People always think that real estate agents are like some superheroes. We live this perfect life.
No.
There's always stereotypes of what a real estate agent: rich, the perfect life, perfect, everything. Beautiful people, nice jewelry, flashy this and stuff. And I let people know, man, I'm just like you. I am.
Listen, that's why I showcase the family, man. I show the kids. I show
possible.
Show the shit I go through.
We all have past issues. We all have family members that are, whatever. We all have divorces. We all have stepchildren. We all have, I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying, in general of us all, we're exactly just like you guys, So, when they start working with me and I tell them a little bit more about my personal story and whatever, they feel very comfortable, like more relatable.
More relatable, of course,
shit,
Bro, it got to the point because I post my kids a lot because my kids, they helped me shift my life. Like my life was totally different direction before I had my kids. So I use them as that's my why, right? That's what people always ask. So that's why I post them a lot. But it gets to a point where people, when we show up, they think the kids are going to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they know my kids. They see the happy birthday. They're like, wow, she's 4 already. Like they want to see that personal side of you. So as much, and I get it. Some people.
And when I first started my page, I didn't have anything personal. I didn't even want my face really on my social media besides my icon, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just like whatever I was working on, whatever house. And then I came out my comfort. Because you got to understand, like as an appraiser, I was the man behind the scenes.
You were behind the scenes. Makes sense.
My whole career, I've been the guy behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it was never important for people to know really like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I always networked and made connections with a lot of people and went to, all the young real estate professional, events in the city.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to rely on my personal name or marketing to get business because we have our clients from relationships and it's, there's only but a handful of banks out there.
You're the brand, yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much, the work comes in,
That's why when I see all these agents and they're posting, because it's the time of year that everybody's switching, everybody's doing whatever they're doing. I feel like they're promoting the companies that they're going to more than they promote themselves. Yeah. And I'm like, that company they pay for their own branding already. Like you don't have to brand them for them. Brand yourself.
Yeah, when people think about me, they don't think about, Don Bailey at
XYZ.
Bank. They think it's Don Bailey, he's a real estate agent.
Same here. Like,
they wouldn't even know what company I'm with, because, I mean, it might be posted here and there, but it's not like my main focus
mean anything,
of
people
my marketing.
They're not choosing you because of that company, unless your company has a crazy market share in that area. But you may get the older crowd that may care more about that, but for the most part, people don't really care.
Yeah.
But let's get out of here, bro. I know we could talk forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Pleasure coming through, bro. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, no problem.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button, all that good stuff. Don, give him some information again on how to contact you.
Don Bailey, #1. I'm sorry, Don Bailey NY, the #1 on Instagram. Don Bailey on Facebook, and I think that's it. Donovan Bailey on YouTube. I don't really.
Got a YouTube channel?
Nothing's on it. I gotta change that.
Yeah.
That's been one of my goals for a long time is getting YouTube because I have a lot of interesting content.
Put it up,
I have a lot of interesting content that I would love to put on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna get that going ASAP. It's just hard to keep up with all these different.
It is.
Platforms.
It's a job in itself.
There's more platforms and there's more and more.
And I think the thing is you have to utilize all of them, right? Because you just never know where the business is coming from. I actually got a deal from LinkedIn.
Nice.
Which, I never post on that. When I remember to post, I'm like, all right, I'll post on LinkedIn. But find one that makes the most sense. Like Instagram makes more sense for me because that's why I get majority of I don't get anything from Facebook. I may get like inquiries here and there, but I've never got a deal from Facebook. But Instagram works for me. So just find a platform that works. Some people, YouTube, you have to be consistent though. Like you have to put that content out and whatever. But find a platform that works for you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. All right.
We out. Oh man, that was good.